Okay, so I guess we can start. So welcome everyone. Today we'll be discussing in a way, a practical way that you can be able to get started with Quarto. So what is Quarto? Quarto is open scientific and technical publication system that can be used to offer a lot of different tools. We as a data scientist, we basically every time in our analysis try to use Jupyter Notebook to do analysis. We create a PDF. After you do your analysis, sometimes you want to share your analysis to your maybe manager or somebody else. You print that thing in a PDF or in a book. The Jupyter Notebook, classical Jupyter Notebook, does not give you a way in which you can do all of these things. So Quarto is a system that allows you to do different things. So with Quarto, oh, hello, can you hear me?
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Yes, you're back.
Okay. So with Quarto, you can work on Python, you can work on R, you can work on Julia, we can work on Observable. So all these ones, languages you can use Quarto with. So, but what can you do Quarto with? You can create beautiful publication, you can write scientific, you can write website, book, you can write, blog, you can do different kind of things. So just to show you, this is our website of Arewa Data Science. We use Quarto to do this. So you can see, for example, also Lukman here, he can now do Quarto. So you can see now, this is a blog for Lukman. So what is the essence of this? So somebody as a data scientist, you need to have, a way you document your learning, your experience. That will give you a very good age when you are doing some application and you say, this is where you are writing a blog post. Our first cohort of Arewa Data Science, we show them how to get started writing blog on Medium, but using blog on Medium has some limitations. So that's why we said, okay, let us teach how we can use Quarto to show how you can do, write blog posts. So this is the aim of today's session, to allow you to introduce you how to use Quarto, how to, have your own blog post. It's very simple. And I hope all our listeners today will be able to create their blog and ask questions, and also try to launch their own today, their blog. And we will be in the Telegram channel after this session. If anyone has some kind of challenge, let us know so that we can help you. So without much further ado, I would like to give the virtual mic to Lukman. So Lukman will guide, talk to us today, how was his experience and how what he learned, and tells you step by steps from installation of Quarto to pushing your Quarto website to your blog to GitHub. So this is something exactly we want you to see how you can have your blog post. So thank you, Lukman. I will now give the floor to you to just show us how you can do that. Thank you. Lukman, are you here?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. So I'll start with the presentation. Let me present my screen. All right. So to get started first, I found out that you need, so if you install Quarto on your system, you also need to install R. It asks some people
we cannot
to
hear you,
install.
Lukman. We cannot hear you. Lukman, we cannot hear
Hello,
you.
hello, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. So sorry. So I was saying that to get started, we need to install Quarto on our system because it has a command line interface. You need to call out Quarto. So either you do it directly on the command line or through your VS Code or maybe App Studio. So, but behind the hood, you have to call it Quarto this, Quarto that. And that's why you need Quarto installed on the system. That's number one. And then number two, I kind of found out that maybe you also need R installed because it kind of works with R, but I wasn't sure because I already had R on my system before I installed Quarto. So, but I asked some people to install R2, but it should work normally without the R. But in case it asks you, just install the R. And it has different machines for rendering. So you could use Jupyter or Meet R for the rendering. So to get started, you can easily download the Quarto here. Hope you can see the Quarto website.
Yes, we can see. We can see.
Okay. So this is where to install. So you download. This is for Ubuntu or Debian, Linux, Mac OS. So you just download and install normally on your system. And then the second step is to decide which one. Okay, you can either use VS Code, Jupyter, RStudio, NeoVim, whichever one. So normally here we use VS Code. So if you don't have VS Code installed, you also need to install the VS Code before you can do that. And then after installing that, you also need to move to your VS Code and make sure you have the Quarto extension installed too. So let me share the VS Code now. Can you see my VS Code?
Yes, we can see your VS Code.
Yes.
Okay. So you need the Quarto extension on VS Code. So this is it. So you have to install the Quarto extension on VS Code before you can proceed. So after installing the Quarto extension, you have your VS Code installed, you have Quarto installed, and then you also need your this thing. So make sure that everything is installed and then you're good to go. So once you have those in place, you can begin. And to begin the this thing. So one thing with Quarto is that everything is easy for you. There are always templates to begin. So one thing with data science and machine learning is that you get started immediately and then you iterate. Maybe you want to create a model, you create it first and then you improve, you tune the hyperparameters to make sure you improve the model. But at the beginning, you just want to get something out first. And with Quarto, you already have that set up. So to get started, you just call up this thing, Control Shift P or Command Shift P, depending on your system. So it opens up this, and then you can choose Quarto, create project. So create project here. So once you create project, you can decide. So you can do a website, a blog, whatever. And with Quarto, you can have a simple document or you can do a project. And the project means you have like a folder with different pages that will determine the output you get. So for this, you can decide. So we are working on a blog today. So we select blog project. So once we select the blog project, we will need to choose the project directory. So I can just choose this, and then I will also need to give it a name. So Arewa DS. So I have a blog template now. So I hope you can all see this is the way it is. This is the structure of the folder. There's Arewa DS demo, that's the name. And then under it, we have a post directory, that's a folder. And then under it, we have this quarto.yaml. And that's something that I use to control how the blog post will be displayed. And then we have this about.qmd. It's a Quarto file. And then we have this index.qmd, and then this is just a picture that you also put on the page. And then this one is styles.css. So in case you want to do some stylings, you want to customize further, you use the styles.css. So understanding the structure of the blog post, the folder, is very important. So for instance, this quarto.yaml, which is here, you can see it determines everything. So project type is website. So that means you are going to get the website. If I change this type to something else, it's not going to be what we need. And then we have the title, Arewa DS demo, and then we have the navbar. So these are places where you can click to navigate blog within the blog site. So you have this about.qmd, which is this document here. So so when you click on this will be shown and you can click on it and it will lead you to about what is inside about. So we'll get there. So you have this one icon, GitHub, and then you have these links. So with these links, you can put since it's a blog, it's something personal, you can put your GitHub repo here. Like for instance, I can put mine here. And then you can put your Twitter website, or you can remove it, your user account, anything. You can also customize. Maybe you want to add Facebook, you want to add link Medium or something else, you can also add. So one thing with this is a template where you can customize it the way you want. So this is the quarto.yaml. And we'll still get back here because everything you add here is going to control the entire project, the entire blog, how the blog will look like. So the next thing is the about, and which is here. We have about.qmd. So when you come to about here, it's going to be about you. So you can say something about the blog. Okay, I am documenting my data science journey. So something like that, you write things about yourself. And here too, you also like include links that maybe you have your Twitter, LinkedIn, GitHub, all the necessary links that you think is relevant to this, what you're trying to share here, you can add them. So all you need to do is make sure that the link goes like it's actually linking to the page you want. So this is the about page. So you can also, and this image, profile.jpg, that's what is here, profile.jpg. So you can swap this with your own, maybe a picture or something, or maybe a logo you want to use. So you can put it there. So, and that's why understanding the structure is important. So if you want to change the profile, you just swap this profile.jpg, you delete it and put something else there. And then that's what will be displayed on the website. And then the next thing is the index.qmd. So this index
Oh, okay. So maybe Lukman's internet. So let me okay. Let me share my screen before he comes back. Okay, so oh, he's back. Lukman, are you back? We cannot hear you, Lukman. So maybe he's back. Let me know. Okay, so you can see he was talking about different kind of options in Quarto. So all those things, they are not difficult. They have their references. So for example, if you come to Quarto and you come to reference, right? Then so you can see Quarto can be used for different things. You can use this to produce a PDF, for example, a letter. You can do anything. You can do Quarto to do PowerPoint. You can use Quarto to produce wikis. You can use Quarto to do some projects such as website. So for example, now if I say, okay, let me show you example of books. Okay, this is the reference. Okay, if you go to websites, so you can see here, the first thing that Lukman was showing you is this in his BS code, like you see project. So what kind of project do you have? Website. So that's why you say website. But if it is book, then you say book. So all these details of information, you can see the title, they have their meaning. You can come over after to read it, to understand more. So you can see website, this is a project directory and whatsoever. Yeah, so you can see a lot of information here about that. So this is not something that you can say is difficult. Everything, for example, navigation, they will tell you what is it. So option to define that, this is it and whatsoever. So everything has the details that you need to work on. Lukman, are you back?
Yes, sir. Sorry for the interruption. I think there's a limit. I'm going to change it.
Okay. So yeah, so I was talking about some of the options you just mentioned.
Yes.
Yeah, so let me give you the plot count. So you can share.
Okay, so I was saying that the quarto.yaml file and about an index, these are things that we might not necessarily be changing much, because once maybe you have something that works for you, it only take maybe once you want to do a makeover or change it, and then that's when you change those. So just understand what they are used for, and then with time. So the most important thing to change is this post, like this post folder. So it's a folder on its own, and then this is where you control everything in your blog. So we have this first one, you have post with code, and then you have this welcome. So the way the post work is that it's a folder on its own, and then within it, you're going to be adding folders. You're going to be adding folders
Lukman,
for each blog. Yes.
can you render this so that we can see this template of website that we just have? Can you render it?
Okay, I can. So I'm saving them. So we can render project. So Control Shift P will bring you here, and then you click Quarto render project. So we have the blog post here. So this is Arewa DS demo. So this is the blog post, and it has a post with code here, and it has a welcome to my blog post. And then you have here about that you can go to and look at what I wrote. I am
Okay, so
documenting my
stop.
data science journey.
Yeah, so stop here about, go to the about in the QMD, click on the about in the QMD. Yes. So if you look at this about, you can see the title. We have about. You can see profile picture, image. You can see it, and you can see something called template, Jola, right? So this is something that you can change different template. So for example, now we have different template that one can, select, and it's available in their website, and that is, it will change this from this template. So let me check one of the name of the template. If let me just, so that Lukman, you can Jola. Let me check the name of the template, Jola template. Okay. Okay. So can you try one called Malloc? Okay, let me write it there. Jola. Okay. No, you can continue.
Okay.
Okay.
So
yeah, continue before I give you the.
okay. So what I was saying is that it's very important to understand this post folder, because that's where everything works, like how you can put new blog posts and put them the way you want. So on this post folder, you have post with code here, and you have this welcome. So for each blog post you want to put, you're going to add a new folder. So we'll leave this post with code and welcome the way they are, since we've already seen them. So let me just open this thing. So we go back to the main page,
Yeah,
and this
Lukman,
is post with code.
I write
Okay.
something. Can you just put it
Okay.
in the chat? Yeah, I put one template called Tesla. and Solana.
So let me render this template. So render project. So let's go back to about, it's looking different. Hope you've seen the difference. So with Trace Tools, this writing, I'm documenting my data science journey is under all the links and the rest. So it has changed, and the about is below the picture. So that's how the template is. So each template, you can just iterate, change it, and see the one you like best. So the difference is that the writing is under, about is under the picture and the rest. So that's how the template is on the about.
So
going back,
can you show us the structure of how the post is, different posts and whatsoever inside the post folder?
yes, sir. So inside the post folder, that's what you need to do. So for each new blog post you want to do, you're going to create a new folder, So let's look at the folders here. So we have this one, post with code. So let's open it. This is post with code, and this is what is inside. So let's open the post with code. And under the post with code, you find image.jpg and index.qmd. So what you need to do while creating a blog, a new blog, is that you create a new folder, and under the new folder, you're going to create an index.qmd file in the folder, and that index.qmd file will contain the contents. So regarding the other things in the folder, you can include all the other things you need. Maybe you're going to use a data set to do some calculations, you're going to put it there, and you want to put an image too, is going to be there in the same folder. But the most important file is the index.qmd file, and that's this one. This index.qmd file here, this is a post with executable code. And when you check the review, this is what it is. It's a post with executable code. So that's what is inside. And then when you check the index.qmd, you find that there is the title, post with code, there is the author, then there's the date, and there's the categories and image. So understanding this first part, the one that is demarcated by these hyphens, is very important too, because that's what will determine how your file renders. So here what we call this front matter YAML, YML, that's yet another markup language. So front matter YAML will determine everything related to that particular post. So this is title, the title of the post, the author, you put your semicolon, and then you put it. So if you have a string, just make sure you have the quotation marks. Then dates, you put the date too. The way the order is year, the month, then the day, and then categories. These categories is important because you want people to be able to select categories based on how you write. Maybe you can write about different things, about coding, about deep learning, machine learning. Maybe you write about R2 or Python, things like that. So the categories is there. So the categories is a list, and you don't need to bother about putting quotation marks for the things because each of the names are recognized. Then for the image too, you can add an image to a blog post, and that will be like outside the file where the name is. So image.jpg. And that's why in this particular post with code, we have image.jpg. So that's here we can see the post with code. And let's go to welcome to and check to.
Hi,
So we
Lukman.
have welcome.
Lukman.
Yes.
So before we go to
Yes.
the welcome, can you show us this, maybe open it in a browser so that we can see this like category that you show us so that we make sure that, yeah, can you open the, can you open the link and put it maybe in browser so that we.
Okay.
Yes.
So this is the link. So these are the categories: all, analysis, code, news. So these are the categories currently now. So what I will do.
Go on, Lukman. You already said.
Okay. So what I want to do now is to create a new post afresh so that we can write something and then render it together. So this is the post directory. So like I said, we are going to add a folder. And to add a folder in VS Code, we come here. This is new folder here. It's going to be directly under the post. So I have my new folder. So I will name the folder demo. So I have the folder, and then I'm going to add files under the folder now. So in the folder, I come here, new file, and then I name it index.qmd. So this is the file. So this is the most important file I need. I can add other files too. So for instance, let me copy the image here and put it there too. I can also, so I've copied the image just so that I can have an image to work with. So here I can work with I can do the front matter YAML and add everything there. So let's say title, blog demo, and then author, and then we have dates. So date is very important because in the index.qmd outside this place, we put date and we put it to sort based on date descending. So it will sort based on date. You should not do a blog post without date, unless maybe you change your sorting to maybe alphabetical. So this is today's date 2023, and the month is August, that's 8, and the day code blog right these categories, and then image too. I copied that image, so I will just put it image.
Lukman, we cannot see your screen. Hello, Lukman, are you there?
Yes, I'm there, sir.
We cannot see your screen. Oh, can you see the screen?
I can, let me share again.
Okay.
Please, can you see the screen now?
Yes, we can.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. So here, so I started a new blog post so that we can all see how it renders. So I have the title here as blog demo. I have the author, Lukman, the date, the category. So I added new categories so that we can see them also show up. And then here, the image. So just know that you can put whatever image you want. And maybe, so, and then I close it out too. So, and here now I can start writing whatever I need to, whatever I want to write. So one thing with this is that it still uses markdown syntax. So you can use maybe headings and the rest.
Can we write Python code?
Yes, we can, sir. So to write, we can also write executable code. So one thing with that's one aspect of Quarto that is better than maybe using another blogging space, because you have your blog, you have your code, it executes and you see the result immediately. And you can also do duplicate. You can do Python, you can do R, all on the same document. So let me start with the Python code. So if you want to put a Python code now, so you put your distance, so you have your this, and then you put your curly brackets and Python. So you have that, and then you put your code. So list, the first list. So I'm just doing a list. And then I want to print it. So then you need to close it too. So after closing, so I have this now. So I have just a simple list that I want to print. So the first thing to do is to save it. So Control S or Command S, you save. and then after saving, you render. So to do that now, let me open my terminal. And then I can just do Quarto render here. So this is another way. Hope you can see. We don't need to render from the top or using this thing. So you can render here, Quarto render, and then it's going to do that.
Yeah, also from here, from the top of the VS Code, can you see something that you can click to render it?
Yes.
Yes, beside, let me show you. Yes, that thing that you put your hand on. Yes. So if you click the beside it, yes. Yeah, you can see it. So it will allows you to render all the documents, all the Quarto projects. When you say render, it will render only the current document. But when you say render all, it will render the whole project. So can you show us now the example of the Python now you have?
So
Maybe you render it from the beginning. You render only this Python stuff. So render it maybe, yes, Quarto render the whole project.
So I have this here. So we have this blog post, and this is blog demo. So this is the showing Python. So as you can see, there's the list and it printed the list. So that's how Quarto work. You can do that. And you can also do different things. You can add you can put.
Oh, Lukman, internet is bad. Hello, Lukman, are you there?
Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Yes, wa alaikum salam, Umar. Umar, can you, I wajen namu yau?
Good morning, sir.
Yes, how are you?
I'm good, sir. Sir, I want to ask a question.
Yes.
When Lukman tried using his terminal to render, he used the command Quarto render.
Yes.
That means, does that mean he's only going to render that particular file? How about
good.
if he tries using Quarto render all? Does that mean it will render all the project?
Yeah, good question. So from terminal, so Quarto in its all is command line tool. It's not like package and whatsoever. So Quarto, you can render it from command line. So you can, for example, provide options in command line to render all the project. You can provide option to render only one project. So if you move into a particular folder, for example, I have a particular folder called demo, and I move through it in my terminal, and I say Quarto render, it will render only that project, only that file, right? But you can also provide some command line that to say render everything. I understand what you mean. So I will share something, and that will be helpful as well. That's a good question. The thing is, okay, the thing is, let's assume you write blog post 100, maybe for first few years. But when you say render all project, then the project will render all your 200 posts, right? So that doesn't make sense because you don't need to do that. So you only render the current project or current file you are working on. So that's allow you to render all. So that's why you see in the VS Code, you can select render only current project or render all projects. Because if you have a project or a blog post that takes like 2 minutes, because there are some large chunk of file code, Python code, it may take whole time. So there is a situation in a sense that you may want to render all project, but sometimes definitely we render mostly a single file. Yeah, so that's the idea about it.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yes. Yes, Lukman, can you go on?
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. So okay, for this particular project, so when you're in the project directory, if you use Quarto render, it's going to render everything. But if you maybe just like Dr. Shamsuddin said, but the way this thing is going to render based on the project. So we've created a new blog post and we've seen the post with code and everything works. So the next thing is after you've created your blog, you also need to share it because you want to share with others. You want them to see what you can do. So the first thing is we can actually publish our blog using different ways. We can use Quarto Pub, which is quite easy. Just create an account and then you can send there. And then we can use GitHub, which I'm sure most of us have GitHub accounts, so we can just place it there and then it's free to host. So you can host your blog there and then you can easily share and add updates. So I'm going to put this in GitHub and then we can just create the site now. So the first thing to do is to come here, source control, and then publish to GitHub. So before here now, someone has to install the GitHub VS Code extension, and then after installing that, you have to also set up your GitHub account, which I've done all that. So for demonstration, I'll just publish to GitHub. It's going to publish this entire page. So publish to GitHub. So I have it. I have private and public, but I have to publish to a public repository. So I'll select public repository, and then I'll click OK. So it's publishing to GitHub. Hope you can see my VS Code.
Yeah, so let me add something, Lukman, before you go on. So the SNA is now after you finish creating your website or blog and you want to host it. So GitHub allow you to host blog static website. So now already Lukman created a folder on GitHub called Arewa Data Science Demo, something like that. He already created that folder. Now, what he's doing now, he is pushing all this folder, all this project into GitHub. So you already know if you are using VS Code, you can push it via this thing, or you can push it via terminal, git add, git whatsoever, and git push. So you can do two different things. If you are familiar with pushing via terminal, that is still the same. But here he is pushing via the VS Code extension that allows you to push all your project. So don't think he is putting it somewhere. If you are familiar, he already created a GitHub repository and he is pushing all of this project into GitHub. So yeah, feel free, please, to ask question if you are curious about anything while doing the stuff. Just ask question. Feel free, anyone, to ask questions so that we can address it, not when we finish. Okay, Lukman, you can continue. Let it be interactive.
Okay, so thank you, sir. Then I've published to GitHub now, and we can check it, but it's not okay. We can check the GitHub to see whether it's there.
Oh, Lukman, internet is bad. It's breaking. Hey, Lukman, are you there?
Yes, I think maybe my internet goes on and off because it keeps pushing me out, like the presentation. So I'm back. I'm sharing the GitHub this thing. So we have these files here now. So everything is on GitHub, but then it's just the files here now. So we don't have anything, like we don't have a site now. We just have the Quarto project folder here on GitHub. So based on that, we need to go back and then work on putting everything, like having a site now. So the first thing to do, the first thing to do is sit down and then so I will now need to look at publishing to GitHub. So I do Quarto publish GH pages. So I have to render it. I have to do this now. Quarto publish GH pages. So that's how to.
Before you continue, Lukman, so
Yes.
GitHub is just a repository allowing you to store some document. It's not a website. It's not where you host website. But GitHub now do have what is called GitHub pages. GitHub have what is called GitHub pages. It allows you to host your website, static website on GitHub without buying any domain. So it is called GitHub pages. Can you Google something GitHub pages, Lukman, so that people can see what is the meaning of GitHub pages? For those that just Google GitHub pages, GitHub pages, yes, pages. Okay. So opening the first one.
GitHub
open
pages.
this. Open
Website
the first.
for yes.
Yes. Click it. So you can see.
So websites for you and your project.
So this is
so let it. Yes.
Go on, Lukman.
I was just reading this thing. You can go on.
Okay, so this is the GitHub pages. It allows you to host your static website on GitHub. You don't need to pay anything. It will just be there. But you should know that GitHub pages, if my name is Demo, so your website link will be demo.github.io. Demo. So open our house Arewa Data Science so that people can see it. Arewa Data Science. Yes. So you can see Arewa Data Science.github.io. So we host this website on GitHub. So also you, if you host your website on GitHub, if it is called, if your name is Musa, then you will have musa.github.io. So this is what Lukman is trying to do. Creating the website you created and now push it to GitHub via a feature called GitHub pages. So can you come back to your terminal where you are typing that Quarto something? Yes. So this is what Lukman is saying. Quarto publish GitHub pages. This is a command specifically for Quarto. If you are using other tools to create a static website, this is not the approach to follow. There are different ways to create GitHub pages, but this Quarto simplify it, make it easier for you to create your website and to push your website to GitHub pages. So you can continue, Lukman.
Okay, sir. So I press enter. So it's asking me whether to publish to this. So this thing is lukmaaj.github.io/arewa_ds_demo. So I enter yes. So it's doing that for me. So they said this may take a few minutes and it's doing that. So it's creating a website for this project. So the blog will be hosted there. So with this, I have my, yes. So it's done. So this is it, a live site for us. Hope you can all see the screen. So we have
So we just have a website now that you can write your blog post and whatsoever. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So you can see how easy it is to create your blog with Quarto.
And with Quarto, you don't need to bother. For instance, with the code we wrote on the list, if it were another platform, it's going to show something different. You have to put the list maybe in a code block, and you also have to put the output separately. But with Quarto, you have everything together, and you can also customize it. You can make it such that it doesn't print the output, and you can do different things. So one thing with Quarto that I will give advice is just everything is just learned by doing. So the more you do, the more you really get to understand everything. So and
can you show us your own, Lukman? Can you show us your own blog so that you can show us some features for Quarto so that we can learn?
Okay. So this is my blog. So I'm here on a post now. I would like to show something. So I wrote a post on matrix multiplication. So I was thinking about how you can do matrix multiplication in both Python and R, and I wanted to compare them. So the R implementation, that's just using loops, nested loops just to see the implementation. So how to do matrix multiplication. And then here I have everything. It renders everything. Then I also did with regular R matrix multiplication using this multiplication operator. And then I got that. Then I used NumPy for the same thing and got the same results. And then for comparison, I also checked the performance, the time it took for everything. So all these things was done in one document. And that's why Quarto is amazing. You can do so many things. And the more you try, before starting this thing, I didn't know much about how to do it, but you have to go check, try it out, and then you iterate. If it works, fine, and then you check. So one thing with Quarto is that there are so many things you can customize it, just like Dr. Shamsuddin showed. Even the templates, you can just check, change the template, see this one, which one is better, things like that. So publishing to creating your blog and everything. And one thing with that is that you have everything documented. So you have your documentation there and you also share. So everything is reproducible. So maybe in the future, if you forget anything, it's all there. And another amazing aspect of Quarto is that with the same document, you can do different things. For instance, you can have one document and you can change it to presentation. All you need to do is change it to from that type website to maybe type to Reveal.js. Reveal.js is for presentations. You can make it PDF. You can make it so that every post somebody sees on your post, on your blog, they can download a PDF copy. You can do that with Quarto. So there are so many advanced things and it's so easy. You don't need to learn HTML. You don't need to be a front-end developer to do things like that. So, and that's why it's really nice for somebody into data science to learn Quarto. You can easily learn. And even for people into all these academics, things like that, maybe you do statistical analysis and things like that. So it's really easy to just do everything. And this is like this is about symbolic computation with SymPy. So with this one now, you can even render latex. So there are places where you can do latex and use on the Quarto. So if you use latex, everything like even the symbols you're going to use is going to show up.
Okay, great. Can you show us example of Quarto book of maybe R4DS book or yeah, so that we can see?
Yes, this is R for Data Science second edition, and it's a Quarto book. It was made using Quarto and everything. So, and even in this book, there's a chapter on Quarto, which I would recommend for people, though everything is based on R, but it's still something that a person can relate to really understand. So they say you need a Quarto command line interface, but you don't need to explicitly install it or load it, as RStudio automatically does both when needed. So this is about R. But when you check it, you really understand more about Quarto and the rest. And the entire book was made using Quarto, the R for Data Science.
So what I want to say is, like, for example, somebody, he has students, you are teaching them. So all your lecture notes, you can write it like a form of book and it should be online. So you don't need to share with them. Something like this, you can just share maybe CSC 22, 21. You can just create it like a book and share it so people can access it and whatsoever. So, and it's very easy. So let me share my screen, Lukman, so you can see here, when you come to Quarto, just if you want to learn more, come to guide. When you come to guide, what do you want to do? If you want to create a website, if you want to create a book, if, for example, I want to create a website, this is where you come to start. So, for example, create a blog. For example, create a blog. I want to create a blog. So you click create a blog. So you start creating step by step. What Lukman shows, create a project. Can you see create blog post? Can you see all these folders? They will explain all these folders that Lukman explained, you know, in detail what they mean. Homepage, what is your homepage? You look at your homepage, the listing, and what everything looks like. So if you want to learn, I really recommend to start. For example, even the themes. So you can see here is a white theme. You can have black themes. You can have this theme. So all these are the name of themes. All you need is to select which themes you would like. So yeah, RS feed, you can include that, publishing. So you can publish your page using Quarto or GitHub page. So we now show how you can publish on GitHub pages, but there are many ways to publish your website, whether Netlify or Amazon. So, and you can have subscription page where anybody that comes to your website, he will type his email, and anytime you create a new blog post, they will be notified. That is subscription. So yeah, so a lot of things you can look at it, and I think that's good. Yeah, so let's stop here, and if anyone has question, yeah, any questions? So the main essence of why do we want to be creating blog posts and whatsoever. So you as a data science, one of the, I think I quite believe way to learn best is to teach to other people. If you don't have other people, try to write a blog post about what you learn. While you are writing that blog post, you will understand that, oh, I didn't understand this while you are trying to explain. So the best way to learn something is to explain it to others. So that's the essence why we said, okay, as a data science, we need to, be doing that. Not only that, you are creating your profile, right? Portfolio. So for example, you are applying for PhD or masters, and you just write, okay, this is my blog post. And if I'm a professor and now come and see your blog post, you learn, how to write Python code, you know how to write PyTorch code. And yeah, quickly, I will recommend, I will co-opt you, because supervisors needs to see, action, not only result. Like maybe somebody has something, Abdurrahman, go on.
Okay, good morning all.
Good morning all, Abdurrahman.
Very interesting presentation. My question is about the last post that Lukman made. There are under category, I have seen a kind of list. One is it news, one is blog, and one is writing. So what is the purpose of that?
Okay. So let me show you the purpose of that. Okay. Okay, so let me show you. Something like that. I believe this is what you saw. So those that thing you saw, category. Look at this. When you make a blog post, you write the categories. For example, is it news? Is this code? So any blog post you made, you are telling people this post belongs to maybe Python. Then if somebody is interested in Python, he can go and see it. Can you see that? And you will see it automatically under category. Now, this makes it easier for people when they just visit your website and they want to see Python code, they will just click Python, and it will only show blog posts that you categorize them as Python. I don't know if this makes sense, Abdurrahman. Abdurrahman. Hello. Hello. So, Abdurrahman, we cannot hear you. Umar.
Sorry, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, I can see down here news, court, and analysis. So whatever I put here, down, move down. Okay, here, category. I can see news, court, analysis, right?
Yes.
So whatever you put here, that means under category by your right, you're the first. Okay, yes. The first will that means it will indicate whether that is the number, indicate the total number of the posts related to that particular thing.
Exactly.
Okay.
So
I'm all right now.
For example, now you make another blog post, new one, and in the new one, you now put news, code, analysis. So this means that here, the number of news will increase to 2, analysis will increase to 2, and the new blog post, you will see news, code, analysis. So this is a way we call tagging in computer science. This is called tagging. You tag some documents so that you can classify them, which class they belong to. So this is the easiest way. Yeah, Umar, go on.
Okay, Assalamu alaikum.
Salam.
Okay, I have 2 questions to ask.